I woke up the other day and, before the gears get engaged,
Yeah.
that twilight moment that you think you're still asleep. But the first words that came to me was, now I can't remember what the words were, but it had something to do with you're either in resistance or
Mm.
you are in allowance.
Oh, oh.
And I thought, well, that's interesting. I mean, I didn't recall having a dream about that. Where did that come from out of the blue? And throughout that day, I forgot about it. It seemed kind of weird to me. I forgot about it. But at the end of the day, I realized, wow, I just had three consecutive things in my world where I was on like an edge. I could resist or I could allow, and I didn't realize it in real time until the end of the day when I reflected. And I didn't even reflect. It just came to me like, you just had these three things in one day. And I'll tell you what the three things were, and then we
Yeah.
can come back to it. So the three things were, first, there was, actually, it was the night before. I had a texting communication with a relative, and it was about the war. And he, it's such a difficult thing. And his view of everything in life is very, we're kind of like opposite ends of the political spectrum. And we used to go at it, right? Like I would have to give my opinion, he would have to give his opinion. And it obviously, I'm speaking to the choir, it was never useful or helpful to either of us. So at some point, so now he's being very expressive about this. And I'm even like afraid to see the videos he's sending me and the news reports.
Yeah.
I'm like afraid to look because it's going to be pretty negative. I know. So I sent back to him three words. I said, "I hear you," and
Really?
I hear you. I didn't even look at it. I didn't even read it. To be quite honest, I see enough of it on the news, and it's
Yeah.
it's hard to take in too much of what's going on in the world right now. So I do my, as much as I can handle, and then I have to say, okay, I have to trust that the right thing is unfolding. Love is going to be brought forth more in the world. That's my stance, and I'm sticking to it. And so I said, I hear you. And after I sent that, I just felt so much love. I felt like
Wow.
my heart opening. He's in pain, even though his pain is different than my pain, it's still pain, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and whether that came from that deep listening program that I did here in Massachusetts, I because it was so close in,
Ah,
I realizing that people just need to be heard. That's all. They don't need an opposing opinion. They don't even need agreement. That's not what well, I don't need that. I just like being heard and being acknowledged for whatever I'm experiencing. And that's what I know you and I do in our coaching, you know, for other
mm,
people. The listening part is just so, so valuable. So there was that event that I realized I'm not resisting.
yeah.
Full acceptance of where he's at, and I'm feeling, his upset and pain. And then there was another event. Let's see, I'm losing it right now. There were three in the same exact day, which is what made me realize that, man, this is something I'd love to run by Dominic and, see how we can help other people see the same thing. Because, man, it just changes our world. changes people's worlds. So the other two was around a dating situation,
Yeah.
about me and being single for quite some time and writing a book about love and doing programs. And actually, that's what drew me to do the relationship program with you, because in my marital counseling and my relationship counseling, and when people get to a point of being in a relationship, to me, that's gold. That is golden, because um, it's hasn't been easy to find in my world. And I've heard people saying that, well, you're just too picky. And it's not about being picky at all. It's about connecting. It's about having a heart connection. And in the dating world, people even my age, who have been through,
It,
they're divorced, they're widowed, they may have been through a few marriages, they've dated a lot themselves, you know, before their marriage and after their divorce. And the responses I get from some of my texts, on the dating site, it's like, what are you answering? I mean, they listen to their own thoughts. They're listening to their own.
oh,
It's like so clear. I could say, um, you know, I'm so happy about this blue sky today. And their response will be, oh, I know blue skies. I read about blue skies. And, it's like not, like we're like this, we're just not connecting. In fact, this one person he said, I like keeping things simple. So I said, oh, actually, that's my most valuable mentor in life. He's no longer alive. His name is Sidney Banks. And would always say, keep it simple, look for the simplicity. And so he sends back to me, yup, I knew it. But he doesn't say anything like, oh, tell me more. Who is this? Who is Sidney Banks? Why was he your most valuable mentor?